Hello my YouTube friends, this is Not Mechanic here, and today I'm working on my 1998 Dodge Grand Caravan. And what I'm going to be doing today, I am going to be replacing the front rotors. So let me show you what we're going to need and also what I did before I start this job. As you can see, the first thing I did was I jacked up the car. As you can see, I don't only have a jack, I also have a jack stand. I also have chokes. I choked the back tires. Also, the emergency brakes are on. And I also took off the cap from the master cylinder. What you're going to need is you're going to need some brake cleaner. You're going to need a 19mm socket. I'm going to be using an impact gun. I'm going to be using a 3/8 ratchet, some brake grease, some anti-seize, and a few more things. As we go along, I'll show you what else you're going to need. So to take off this hubcap, all you have to do is just use a screwdriver, and between here there's little gaps, and all you have to do is just push it. And there it goes. Now you're gonna need a 19mm socket to remove the tire. Like I said, I'm gonna be using my impact gun. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove it, and I'll be right back. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to rotate this way. You don't have to do it. The only reason why I'm doing it is just to show you the bolts we have to remove in the back. Now we're going to remove these two 10mm bolts right here. You're going to need a 10mm socket. Usually what I like to do is I like to put a screwdriver through here and compress the caliper piston. But I'm going to be using my brake pad, so I'm not going to do that today. And if it gets stuck, I'll show you what to do. So let's remove these two 10mm bolts out of here. So now we're going to pick up the caliper pistons up, and if it's stuck, what you're going to do is you're going to put a screwdriver right here to pry it out. So let's try like this first. So it came out. So now that they're out, what you want to do is you want to put this caliper piston and hang it up here. You don't want this brake line to be hanging nowhere. Okay, what we're going to do is now, like I said before, the only reason why I turned this is because I wanted to show you how to remove the bolts from back here. So you're going to have this straight, and all you're going to do now is your rotors should come out. Your rotors should come out pretty easy. Pull it out. So let me straighten this out and show you. Now let's remove the rotors. All we have to do is pull it forward and it comes out. In case they were stuck and they didn't want to come out, what you do is you just hit it with a hammer here and each side, and little by little it'll start coming out. In this situation, it was easy to take out. Now what I like to do is, as you see this here, and I recommend for you also to do it, is spray it with some brake cleaner. Try to take as much of the rust as you can. I'm using this big wire brush. Now once I do that, I like to put some anti-seize on it. This is just to prevent it, for it won't get next time you remove the rotors, they don't get stuck on you. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean the new rotors. The reason why we're cleaning the new rotors is because each rotors come with grease on it. Take the brake cleaner again. Clean rag. And remove the grease. Do it to the back also. Now all we're going to do now is put these in. Now that we cleaned them, all we have to do is just put them in. And there it goes. And you can use one of your nuts and put it here. This is just to hold it down. There it goes. Now what I'm hoping to do is that I don't got to compress the caliper pistons on these brake pads. If not, we're going to have to compress them in. Okay. So I didn't take the brake pads out. Hopefully I can just put them right in there like that. Nope. We're going to have to compress them in. I'm going to show you what to do. Now we have to be very careful when we're compressing them in because we're going to be using the brake pads. So we're going to remove this brake pad out first. Use my big screwdriver and I like to pry it out. There it goes. I'm going to remove the other one also. And I need to get and what we're going to do is we're going to compress this in. When I compress the caliper piston, I usually use brake pads in order to press them in. In this situation, I'm going to be using my brake pads. So what I did was I found a pair of this wood here. And all you want to do, remember, you want to compress them a little bit. So now, you take the C-clamp, this big one here, and all we have to do is just put it in the back. Let me put it in and then I'll show you what I just did. As you can see, I have it back here and in the front. And all I need is to compress it in. And there it goes. You don't have to compress them all the way in because you're not changing the brake pads. What you're doing is changing the rotors. And once it's that in, it's all the way in, all we're going to do is we're going to put the brake pads back in. Now remember, this one here is just snaps in. Excuse me. This has to be up. And all we do is just snap that in. Take the other ones. Remember, these two things go right in here. And there it goes. It's right in. Now we should be able to put this in. Now, if you notice here, we have these grooves here in the brake pads, and we have this groove here, right here in the caliper. So these two things has to go here, and this one has to go in the bottom. Let me show you. See that? And then I forgot to mention, this right here, the sliding pin has to be pushed back. If not, it's not gonna let you put it inside in the middle in here. So make sure that's back, and let's try this again. That goes in, that goes in, that's in. Make sure that they're both in down here, in here. But the most important one is this one right here, this groove. There's a groove right here that has to go in, then these two. Then what you want to do is make sure you clean your bowls. And this one goes in the top. And you're going to have to wiggle it in order to get it in. Now you want to do it finger tight, and don't forget also the one in the bottom that's right here. This one here. Make sure you wiggle it a little bit to get it in there. Now you're going to take your 10mm socket and screw them in. Once you screw them in, you want to go in a little bit. This one also, the top one. Once you feel it tight, then you just go just a little bit. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to press the brakes, and you're going to see that this is going to lock in. And also, make sure you close the master cylinder, that you put the cap right back. Now that the brake pads are nice and tight, you have completed your job. All you have to do is put your tires, and you've done a great job on changing the rotors on your 1998 Dodge Grand Caravan. So once again, This is Non-Mechanic. If you have any comments or questions, please post them down below or contact me at nonmechanic101@yahoo.com. That is nonmechanic101@yahoo.com. And remember, if Non-Mechanic can do it, you can do it. Later.